There are plenty of you out there that are at your breaking point, that are ready to just throw in the towel, that are just ready because the funds are dwindling and you're sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing all your money, and the returns that you're hoping is not yet coming the way you actually anticipated. But that's okay, right? There's a saying, and it's a very common one. It's always darkest before dawn.
Rise and shine, Value Farm family. Welcome back to another episode of The Farm. If you're new here, you are most welcome. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and also turn your notification bells not to miss out on any episodes of The Farm. And of course, to all our returning subscribers, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys so much. Asante sana. And of course, karibu to Value Farm. It's a beautiful morning today at Value Farm. And I'm really so happy, guys, to share with you what is happening at Value Farm, and of course share with you some of the updates that we have at the farm. I'm really super excited about this. I also have my co-director on standby who is going to say hello to you guys and also introduce himself to you guys.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name is co-director Grafton. Yes, we are definitely back on the ground here at Value Farm. The sun is indeed shining. But I gotta tell you guys, today I'm particularly excited because we're actually here on the ground, and as farmers, I often discuss this with my partner here. There are times in life where you have an idea, and an idea starts sometimes. Those of us who are believers in the higher power, we think God comes into our thoughts, put these amazing ideas in our mind, and for many of us, it dies right there. It stays there. No matter how amazing that idea might be, there are so many of us that are out there that know what to do, that have a concept that might be able to revolutionize and even change the world. But because of either A, lack of funding, B, overall, I would say support, because you need family support, you need friends support, you need to have a support network around you. And let's face it, we live in a world that's becoming ever more jaded. People don't truly want to support anything that they're not doing for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you can have that amazing idea, great concept, and it could be people in your circle holding you back. And that's the sad part about it, right? But then there's a few of us, maybe 5, maybe 10%, right, that have that idea. And you literally push all your chips to the center of the table, and you take a risk, you take a chance. And the scariest part about that is when it's an idea that you're trying to bring to life. There's always risk. There's always a possibility of absolute catastrophe, loss. There's always the excitement that you start with. You know, I can share with you guys from my own personal experience. My first esports company, right, which is a company called Most Valuable Gaming. When I started that business, right, it was me and 4 of my other really good friends. But the moment we had our first setback, people that I thought were like my best friends on this planet, the first time I actually got the concept of being ghosted is when some of my best friends literally just stopped answering my texts, stopped answering my calls. And I was the one that actually took the bold step, you know, to actually like go all in. My savings, you know, took a sabbatical from work, and I made the full commitment. And at the end, you know, it was my friend Terrence, and of course James Woods was another one. You know, he stuck around longer. He helped us move the goalposts forward, and the company basically became, you know, a very well-respected, sizable company. But the lesson I learned from that experience, right? Sometimes when you have that idea, you could be scared. When it's time to put the hard cash on the line, that's when you become paralyzed by overanalyzing. And at times, if you cannot push through sometimes you as a person, you have to put the blinders on here. Not even on the peripheral, but here.
In front of
and
you.
just believe in your business plan, believe in your business concept, and you just go forward. Because if you don't do that, believe me, that idea will die on the cutting floor, and you're gonna find yourself with the woulda, coulda, I wish I would have, and you never recover from that. And for some of us, those pivotal points in our lives, you know, that's why it's gonna shape your future, your family legacy for the next 15 to 20 years or the next 200 to 300 years. You just never know. When you look at somebody like Bill Gates, talk about generational wealth, you understand? And it's not just in tech. There are billionaires, ultimately trillionaires, that are gonna be made within the agro space itself. Question I have for you guys, which side of this do you wanna be on? Do you wanna be one of the pioneers? Do you wanna be one of the ones that actually find a way to make this process, right? Whichever aspect of agro, whether it's agro-tech, whether it's just you with animal husbandry, or you're gonna be the next person to invent the next great app that's gonna make farming that much more, I guess, easier to manage and even more palatable for new farmers coming into the space. You know, what part of that, the pendulum, right? Which side of the pendulum are you gonna find yourself on? Or are you gonna be one of those people who just sit there and admire? We love the fact that you admire what we do, but believe me, it was not an easy road to get here. Because even with us, there were moments of absolute crippling fear, right? When we were facing challenges with management, when we were facing challenges with the overall health of our animal, with the way the farm was developing. But you know what? Luckily for me, I believed in my business partner here. I believed in the plan that we had, you know, and even when it got really, really, really difficult, and the easy thing to do is just lay down and just wash your hands and say, you know what, we tried, but we kept on moving forward. And so where we are today is truly remarkable. We actually had a target to try to reach in terms of meat production from the farm before we can start selling to the general public. Also before we would actually start, you know, distributing in our upcoming outlets throughout Kampala and other parts of the country. And today, like, we are right on target, you know? And even though that dream delayed, right? Like, we had to put it on hold, or we had to, again, go back to our initial way of thinking about the business, which is, you know, starting small, being patient, roll with the heavy punches, you know? Like, we took some heavy body blows, you understand? But the ultimate part of this journey is that with all of that, we're still here. And we've gotten smarter, we've gotten stronger, we've been more exposed, and we want you to benefit from our experience. So today, just wanted to actually share that information with you, because I know there are plenty of you out there that are at your breaking point, that are ready to just throw in the towel, that are just ready because the funds are dwindling, and you're sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing all your money, and the returns that you are hoping is not yet coming the way you actually anticipated. But that's okay, right? There's a saying, and it's a very common one. It's always darkest before dawn. When you get to the point where you want to give up, just know you're set for your breakthrough. And you don't want to get 99.9% of the way and let that extra step take you out of the game, right? So hope you find this video in time before you reach your breaking point and decide to stay in the fight, because unless you're in the fight, you have no chance to win it.
Wow, that is really amazing. Let me just give them a little story of how we began. And of course, when we purchased this land in the beginning, I remember most people used to laugh at us, especially people from the village. When we purchased the first section of the farm, people were like, are you guys really crazy? Of all the pieces of land, is that the best that you could? But of course, they were talking behind our backs. But of course, workers came in here and there, you know, telling us about it. But we were like a laughing stock. Then we brought in our first animals. It was still a laughing stock. But we never really focused on that. We had a bigger vision. We had something that we are looking up to. And of course, we had our goals, we had our plans that really never really kept us down at all. Because I remember there are some workers that we even tried to hire around from the village because, wanted to support the community, create jobs for them, but still the people were really failing us. The people from the village themselves could just come here, disappear, but we learned it the hard way, guys. We learned that most people who are around the village were just coming to, to see and also to just get some income and just disappear. But that really didn't get us, down at all. We tried getting other workers from somewhere else, people who are really a little distant from the farm, from the village, and they were showing us like, what, they're here to work. We got, of course, some good people. Some people were just also here just for paycheck and all that. But that was a whole learning process for all of us in the beginning. So for anyone out there, when you're starting, there are so many challenges that you're going to face, especially in the beginning. From management, from workers, they're going to fail you. You might be having your creative mind. You want to do this, you want to do the other one, you want to do poultry, goats and all that. And you have, your money that you've really saved so that you can start off your projects. But the people that you're going to work with are going to fail you. Sometimes you have to really make a turnover, make other people to come in so that they can help you, or also seek advice from professional farmers, people who have already experienced, so that you can get more knowledge, equip yourself so much. Because in the beginning, that's when people really fail a lot, because they give up easily because they feel like, okay, I thought these things were really easy in the beginning, but it's not easy at all. But with the experiences that you get, you definitely get better with that. Then also about the growth where we are right now. Oh my God, most people can't even believe. The people who used to laugh at us, most of them, whenever they see maybe goats going to the field, they can't believe. Whenever they see what is happening with the cows, they can't even believe. Because when we got our one cow here, people are like, these ones are just jokers. Yeah? But right now when they see other cows, other breeds going in the field, they feel like, okay, what are these people? These people are now real serious, by the way. And they're the same people who are coming to us and, appreciating, yet they're the very ones who used to really laugh at us and even talk behind our backs and even saying we are wasting money in this place. There's nothing that is going to prosper in this land. And of course, with the mentality that people had about this particular area, it wasn't good enough for what we were doing right here. But we've proved them wrong. So when you focus on your goals, when you focus on what you're going to do, you definitely win.
Let me tell you guys something. In America, there's a saying, or another saying, right? We love a redemption story. They often want to tear down the hero to see whether or not he or she is going to come back stronger, because that hero looks great when he's floating up there above us all. But when he finds himself on his knees, looking for answers in the heavens, can he or she get off the ground, get off the mat, and get back on top? And when you do, that's when they reveal you even more. But if you can't, that's when you confirm the fact that in their mind that you are a fraud when it came to the actual, your persona or what you put out there into the ethos, right? As a team, I can tell you guys this, you have to have thick skin.
That is true.
When you get into this business, whether you decide to open a restaurant in Kampala, or you decide to open a nursing, program, or you decide to open whatever business that's gonna is gonna always put a target on your back. And if you're gonna have thick skin, if you're gonna have elephant hearing, where you hear all the whispers and you let that stuff impact you, then you might not be you might not be the right type of individual that's meant for this type of work that we're doing here. But if you're the type of person that can actually block out the noise, that can actually take the negativity and turn that into fuel, then my friends, this is the place for you to be. Because I can tell you, for me, I used to hear the whispers. The employees used to literally, true story, we actually started out with 1 cow, 1 pig, 3 goats. And we actually brought a herdsman here to come herd cows, and we had nothing but a few goats. And they were saying, we don't have animals. Like, why are we here in the beginning? And so to see where we've come, the speed in which we arrived to this point is truly, remarkable. But then the reason that we share these experiences with you is because, yeah, there are farmers in your area that might already be big. We know farmers in whatever district you're in, especially if you're in the West, you know, you want to get into cattle ranching or farming, and you already have people in the area that have 5,000 cows, 1,000 cow. And you yourself, you don't have the budget to get there yet. But you know what? That should not deter you from starting. Even if you're starting with 1, with 2, as long as you actually start and you have a vision. You know, sometimes the budget may definitely restrain you in the beginning. But you know what? I just want all of you to think economically, financially, where you are in life right now. Could you have ever seen yourself earning as much money as you're earning today 10 years ago? You know, life don't remain stagnant. Your mind does. You understand? You can actually allow your doubts to hold you back. But your economic situation today may not be what it's gonna be 3 years from now. And that's just the way life is. And business is exactly the same. Just because you're starting very, very small, you might start on a micro level. But that micro farmer you see with 1 cow, 1 goat, 1 pig, 2 chickens, a few rabbits, fast forward 5 years from now, he may end up becoming the wealthiest person in the village, in the region. You understand? And many of you may actually start at this level in terms of farming. And you might find your passion might be in processing or another part of the supply chain, you know, when it comes to the agro space. So those are the things that we actually wanted you guys to keep in mind. And today we're gonna actually be updating you guys on a few more things.
Yeah.
I know many of you wanna talk about pigs, you wanna see the pigs.
Yeah.
Listen, the farm itself, the pigs are doing great. Tina's gonna take you guys on a full tour. I'm gonna hop in and out, right? Because there's a lot that I also have to do on my side.
Exactly.
But I'll definitely catch up with you guys.
Yeah, I also wanted to address one question that it's not a question, but it's a comment that we always get, especially on TikTok. So most people, whenever we showcase, you know, the behind the scenes, they see the number of goats, they see the number of sheep at the farm, and we encourage them like, you know, you can definitely also do the same. Most of them are like, oh, we could do that, but the problem is with land. So for the beginners, if you don't have land or you don't have land of your own, there are other possibilities that you can definitely get land. Through lease, you can rent land as well, especially here in Uganda. You can go to your village, rent land. Renting land is quite cheaper. Then with time, you can buy it from the landowner. If you get your money when you sell your animals, you get more money to purchase it and you own it yourself. So you start really small with also purchasing land. You don't have to really have land of your own in the beginning, but you can start through leasing, through renting, then you can definitely own it. Then also with the structures, most people think, you know, I'm going to spend a whole lot of money when I'm beginning. Most times you can start with what you have. Start with the materials that are available in your village. That is also very good. You start from there, then you go to the bigger or permanent structures. But in the beginning, start with what you have, what is available within your area. That is my best advice that I can really share with you guys.
Absolutely. So yeah. let's check out the next section.
Yeah, let's go, guys, so that we can see.
Here.
Well, guys, your wish is our command. You guys have been requesting for the pig updates, what is really actually happening with our pig project, what is new. But to really tell you the truth, there's a lot that has been changing. But of course, our routine mostly remains the same, but there's a lot that is really happening from inside right there. Just because we can't be inside, because there's a lot of cleaning that is being done early in the morning and we don't want to disturb the pigs. They have already finished taking their first meal and they're resting, and the final cleaning is being done right now. I'll definitely share with you guys what is actually happening, the different stages. And for those who really want to come and purchase the piglets are getting ready. The ones that have been weaned, the ones that are really 2 months, 3 months, 4 months are there for you.
The thing is, you know, as a company, there's a lot to be proud of as an organization, But what I'm especially proud of with our group here is that, you know, a lot of people think that we're YouTubers that happen to get farming content, and there's a lot of people out there that are just YouTubers who happens to just get farming content, right? But no, it's the other way around. Like, we really are farmers that are truly in the business. This is our farm. We're not just managing, you know, and there's nothing wrong with just being a manager, because you still, all the managers, the good ones, are playing a vital role in the actual business, right? But I can tell you guys this, we actually follow the actual lessons. Like, whatever we share with you guys, we follow. At one point, we had almost 800 pigs at that house behind us. But we've actually strategically, purposely decided to actually go in a different direction by importing even better genetics, because as we will hope to scale to like having at least 3,000 pigs here at the farm in the near future. But we knew the genetics we had were good enough. A lot of it, I mean, we have some pigs that we've sold here that are of absolute tremendous quality in comparison to what else is on the market. But we wanted to do even better. We wanted to bring in stock that could be ready in less than 6 months. And yes, we've made the financial commitment. It was a huge sacrifice, but we made it. And the reason we made those decisions was so that not only could we have access to those genetics, but to also make it easier for you to have access to those genetics yourself, right? Because we as an organization, the idea for us is to actually go from start to finish. But some of you would want to get the same genetics that we have. Luckily for you, we have them on the ground. They're definitely going to be producing, I would say, in the not too distant future. But this is the key lessons for you guys to think about. I was actually speaking to someone about stocking their farm. This particular person, their farm is in Fort Porto, right? And then they were looking for breeds of cows. So I told them about our friend Mark, where we got some great borns for, and that's the specific breed that they're looking for.
They're looking for, okay.
So I said, you know what? Yeah, you know, like, you should just call Mark, go see our friend. He has some incredible breeds up there. They're in tremendous shape. You know, he'll give you all the paperwork, certificate of purity, everything. And the first thing this person said, the cost of transport to go from there to Fort Porto, you know, and then in my mind, the first thing I was thinking about, we went up there, right?
Far.
We went, I mean, it was I would say combined, a 9-hour trip.
Yeah.
Mainly because our car is not meant for the rugged terrain, you know, which is something else we're looking to upgrade in the near future. But still, we went to the point where we were standing, you take one step to the left, you in TZ. One step to the right, you were being picked up in Rwanda. But we went, the farm was beautiful. We learned so much about that specific breed by going up there, by bringing our vet was there, our section manager was there, and we came away with a greater appreciation for that specific breed. Why am I giving you guys this example, right? That's the number one mistake everybody tends to make. You know, they spend the money on infrastructure, spend the money on staffing, they have what they want to call a farm, but you don't have the genetics. You playing the game backwards. You understand? Many of you guys out here, and the part about being on the other end and you guys having access to our contact information, so many of you, and you guys know who you are. You want to call us 1,000,000 times a day, ask 1,000,000,000 questions, but you don't even care enough about your business to actually book actual time to get proper consultation. We bring this information to you guys free of charge because this is shared experience. But for many, this is just the first step. Though it's a great step that you actually are watching these videos. But if you're going into business, you don't want to go into business guessing. You want to go into business actually, you know, yes, you have your business plan, but it also makes absolute sense for you to speak to someone who's actually in the business. And many of you think you're clever by half, sending 1 billion messages on WhatsApp. But when it's time for you to have your one-on-one sessions, it doesn't matter if you do it with us or if you do it with another company, another farmer. You guys are being cheap, and in the end, the only ones you're gonna end up hurting is your own pocket, is yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, I swear to you all, if we knew then what we have learned since we've been in this business, if we had someone or as a resource like you guys have with us, with other farmers, with other companies in West Africa, throughout the whole continent, there are farmers that are even far more qualified than us in this specific field of expertise, right? We would have been so much further ahead. So we share this with you guys. When it comes to starting, do not make the mistake of going halfway with your genetics. Because when you make that mistake, that's gonna be your springboard to failure. Because you buying the wrong buck to put onto your herd.
Yeah, it's good.
Buying the wrong ram to put on to your herd of sheep. Purchasing a local cheap bull to put in with your cattle. Or you buying a great female pig from us here, and then you go back into your village to give that female pig to a local boar is a crime against animal husbandry. But many of you just think, oh, I'm just doing this. And by the time you do that, right, you come out the gate slow, you don't get the results you're hoping for, you run out of capital, then you want to blame the world. But in reality, you need to take a look in the mirror. You understand what it takes, but financially, you know, in terms of both with your time and your finances, you guys are always looking for shortcuts. And what frustrates us the most, you can no longer say, oh, you didn't know. You didn't know when you go into goat farming that you're supposed to get a good buck. You might not have the money to buy 20 great females or pures or 85% or higher, but you know by now, thanks to all the other content that's out there, that if you're gonna go into goat farming, you definitely need a great buck. Same thing in terms of if you wanna start a piggery, you need to start with an absolute champion of a male, because unless you have that, you're gonna suffer. And as you suffer, it's not due to lack of knowledge, it's due to willful blindness. And believe me, that's gonna cost you the most in the long run.
Wow, that is really amazing. Knowledge is power. I really appreciate that. And of course, with genetics, you'll never fail. With quality genetics, guys, you will never fail. We were interacting with one of the farmers out there who has quality bucks, quality goats at their farm. And you know what? As we were talking, he was really so happy. He was like, you know what? I just sold my 3 goats and I got my 5 million. You should have heard how this farmer was so happy. He was like, you know what? You never go wrong when you have quality breeds at your farm, because someone will not even hesitate to give you that money when they're coming to buy. But when you have, you know, mediocre breeds that are not sure.
Local.
They're not sure about, they'll have even options. But as long as someone just comes here and sees the breed for themselves and they see that this is the one, they will just pull off the money. And people have the money to buy these breeds, but just because they want to play around, they want to, you know, have shortcuts. And because, you know, if you're not yet ready with stocking your breeds, please, first wait, save up enough, so that you can definitely get something that is going to really give you more profits. So at least you have to maximize your profits, and also that will also help you with less costs at the farm, especially if you have workers who are going to manage so many goats that you have and they're not even going to be worth it. But I really appreciate you guys so much for these updates, and I hope you've learned something from this video. I really want to tell farmers out there, never give up, you know, look for quality, look for knowledge, do your research. I know we've said this over and over again, but this is what you have to do for you to prosper in farming. And we shall never stop telling you guys the truth.
I want to also give a real shout out to the Ghanaian Farmer in Ghana. Again, this is not a paid endorsement. I don't know her personally. We've never had any sort of interaction with that particular group. But I really love what she's doing with her team out there. And the reason I want to highlight that channel is because I've seen even Ugandan farmers that have flown to Ghana to go learn at some of the training that their company actually put on in association, in partnership with the groups on that side, right? And that goes to show you, people that are interested in succeeding, they're gonna invest the money on travel. They're gonna invest their money into finding proper mentorship, because at the end, you know, you can get the brand new car off the lot, if you don't know how to drive, that's gonna be a waste of an investment in that vehicle. And business and farming in particular is exactly the same way. So you can always tell the farmers that are wanting to get into this business for the long haul. Because even I gave you guys an example. I spoke to someone from, I believe, Senegal about 5 or 6 weeks ago. This person is still living in the US. She's not planning on going back home for at least 4 years. Yet she booked 4 hours with me. Like, in fact, it was so cool because I thought she was ready to start right away. But she literally booked 4 hours. We spent so much time. She took 2 weeks to write out all her questions. And I was more than happy, you know, to give her even extra time because I knew this was a serious future farmer. And so someone like that is a guarantee she's gonna make it because she's prepared. And you could tell those who are in it, who want to really be in it for the long haul because they prepare. You know, there's an adage there, if you don't have a plan, then you're planning to fail. And so many of these guys have the funds, but they're just trying to see how they can just get something from others for free. Well, this is the freebie. You know, these other channels out there also provide great free information. But then in terms of collaboration, in terms of partnership, in terms of working with our team and working with other farmers, you know, we always urge you guys to do your own due diligence. Don't just throw money at companies and people just because you see they are on YouTube, you know, but you need to talk to these people. You need to come on the ground. You need to investigate what's really happening. And if you find like you vibe with that person and you actually see that they're doing something productive, something that you respect, then by all means, you know, then you make your decisions from there. But in the long run, if you know what you're doing, then the chances of you succeeding is that much greater.
That is high. Wow. Amazing and amazing. Guys, leave your comments down below. Is there something that you've learned? Yeah? We don't want to be speaking to ourselves here and you guys are watching and not leaving any comments. So did you learn anything? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have anything to comment about the topic of the day and what you've seen us discuss from here? Please, if you haven't already checked out our social media platforms, please go to Instagram, it is Value Farm UG. Facebook is Value Farm. TikTok is Value Farm. Please go check behind the scenes and also, you know, see what we are definitely doing at the farm. All those, you know, small things that you don't happen to see on the channel. We have them on Facebook, on Instagram, and also TikTok. But we appreciate you all. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.